So, you've bought a RamReplicas Stormtrooper helmet kit. I will take you step by step through the process to getting it finished and looking great, ready for decals and painting. So when you're finished, we're going to end up looking at something like this. Let's go. The main parts you will get in the kit will be your dome, back and cap as they call it, your face plate and your two ears. You'll notice there'll be some marks on some of the parts. I've not done it on mine as yet, but I will do. There'll be some marks. There'll probably be a dot, which is going to be the perfect place to screw the back and cap to the face plate when we're ready. And it will also have a pretty rough guide as to where you're going to be wanting to trim that to when it comes to the initial fitting. But we're not going to do that first. What we're going to do first is look at the ears and get them rough trimmed. You'll notice when you get them, you have got some rough lines there that I've penciled in. Now, I've done this kit so many times, I know that this is pretty much round about the best starting point for these ears. So what you're going to do is cut them out. Once you've cut them out, roughly to the lines that I've sort of given you, you're going to end up looking at something like that. They're quite rough at this stage and they're going to need more trimming, but it's always better to leave more to take off than take off too much straight away. You can put screw holes, I have in this, you can drill through if you want to at this point. It's fine as long as you drill through roughly those positions on both ears. That will be fine. Okay, so we're going to offer up the ears to the back and cap. So start with the left ear. I think is a good place to start because it fits better than the right side, as you'll find later on. We're looking at following that rear temple decal down in a sort of straight direction as it follows. So we're looking at the ear following that direction from the center of the back. So we're looking at placing that here. So as you can see, the center of the ear is following that down, and then it goes naturally down to the bottom of the helmet here. What we want to do at this stage is hold it on in the place that we're happy with. I'm happy with that. Some people want them further round, some people want them straighter. Whatever you do, make sure you're consistent with both sides as you're doing it. But I tend to follow that pretty much straight down. And what we're going to do is grab our pencil, mark round this frontal side of the ear. Bear in mind, frontal side and underneath. I've already trimmed the plastic on this this one quite a lot, so it's almost right. Trimmed the bottom of this one a lot already, so it's almost right. So look, as we go round, I'll now move the ear, and as you can see, got a bit of a line and a line just going under there as well. What we're looking at doing is hiding the dome underneath the ear. So grab your scissors and cut close to that. You can cut a bit more. You could probably cut at least 5mm in from that because we want it hidden, and I've drawn it so it's flush, so we want to go 5mm in. These are actually Tamiya craft scissors. I think I was recommended these by somebody else a few years ago. Absolutely brilliant. Don't think that normal scissors excuse me, will do the job the same. They will not. and they'll make your life tricky. You'll mark plastic that you don't want to, scratch it. Don't bother. Get these. They're probably 10 quid, 5 to 10 quid off eBay, but they're worth it. The difference being this slight curve, and I think there's probably a little bit more of a gap between the teeth, which finds cutting through plastic that little bit easier. 5mm inside that line, as I mentioned. Don't worry about the bottom of the helmet, we can leave that for now, but you should have, it would have been good to just draw in that bottom edge that you found on the earpiece at that point. So we're just going to cut 5mm in. And round the top, what you want to do is, I'll show you here, you want to slowly just get up to the top and curve it round very, very slightly, and then follow on in a straight line, like that, pretty much. You could probably make that a little bit better. Whatever you do, don't leave a sharp edge, because it can snap if you're unlucky. It shouldn't do, but one way to get rid of that would be with your Dremel, just go in and curve it a bit. So here you go with the Dremel, just gonna go in with like the sharp pointed Dremel attachment and just curve it a little bit. And that's it. Yep, and that's it. So look, you can just see it's just got a slight curve in it, and there we go. What we'll do is now we'll offer the ear back up, and it needs to be now sitting over that plastic. So you want it to be disappearing, but only just, so almost it like tucks into it. And then what we can do is we can look at how the back of it is starting to sit on that back piece. Now I can see I've got too much contact here, so I'm going to take that off with the Dremel. That's going to be the first thing I do. But to be honest, that isn't a million miles away. We want a bit of a gap anyway. We're just going to take that edge off. You can take it off with your scissors, so I could do that. So yeah, I'll take a bit off with my scissors first. Like I say, because I'm using these Lexicon scissors, they're so good and so easy to handle that it does avoid Dremel use to quite a large extent. So all I've done is just taken a bit of that edge off. I'll now offer that back up, and as you can see, the fit's getting better at the back. It's probably just still a little more off that edge. Get rid of them. Make sure I've actually got the right earpiece that I was working on before. So yeah, look, as we say, it's not a bad fit. I mean, some people would leave it at that, but I'm just going to take a bit more off. You might find there's a contact point, you think, oh, I need to take loads off. Well, you don't. You might just need to take literally a mil off, and then it'll change the whole fit. So be careful when taking it off. But yeah, Dremel's always good to use anyway, because it takes off those rough edges that you might have got with the scissors. Once you start getting it close, you can rub off with your finger. It'll come off with either wet it a bit, or you can just rough press on hard, and it'll get rid of any pencil that I may have left still on. I've gone through the same process, and now I'm looking, as I place that over the top, I know that I'm going to have my drill points here, one in the middle here, and top and bottom of the dot that you were probably had drawn on by myself. and we're going to have a contact point here, which is going to go through the bottom part of the ear. So we need to make sure we've still got some of that visible, and we've got a nice fit at the back, which we have now. Now we're going to grab our faceplate, which you should have pretty much trimmed as we need it, but it doesn't matter at this point, because what we're looking at doing is offering the ear up in the same way we offered the ears up to the back. I would say an inch before from the edge of the ear to the edge of the tear. About an inch would be nice, and sort of look at getting that ear running kind of down. That should be okay. So hold it in place. This time we're drawing from the back, not from the front. So we're not really drawing much on it. I'm just going to draw perhaps where we see the top of the ear going round, and in the back. Remember, you're going to want some of the plastic through there, so it's got to go through the ear and through that. So we're looking at getting both that on. Same at the top there. That's why it's good to drill your holes, because it just reminds you where you're drill the holes in the ears, just so you know where you're going to be going through. So what you'll see, you won't see much, but you will see the bottom of the ear, how it was going on, and you'll see the back of the curve of the ear and up there. So what we're going to really be taking off is it's kind of that. You can start taking a bit of that off if you want, but I would leave it for now because I don't think it's necessary. So as I did before, I'm going to go in with my scissors and cut along there. We're not cutting over the top. That's was just giving me an indicator of where the ear finished. It's more just around thinking of the back. Now you're looking at how that sits. As there's no interference now from the back side touching on the back of the ear, the back of the faceplate touching the back of the ear. So now we're going to look at how the fit looks, and it's pretty crap, as you can see. So look at where your contact points are and start taking it away. So just took a little bit off that edge, and this is where the process can be quick, slow, however confident you are, however many you've done before will sort of decipher your speed at this point. Slower the better. Don't cock it up. Just take your time, keep offering it up, and don't, like I said before, you may think more needs to come off than actually does, so just take it easy. Okay, so fit's getting better, but now I can see contact point somewhere else, which I don't like, which is here. So I'm going to take that edge off. It's better, but I still don't like it because there's a contact down below which is stopping this getting a little bit tighter to it. Trickier side, the right. I said before, it doesn't fit as well, so but now I would say that's not too bad. There is a little bit of a gap that you can sort of see. Will I get it any better? Possibly not. So I'm going to say sod it, I'm leaving it at that. So as we look at it now, I've done my dremeling and trimming. I haven't got a perfect fit, but it's okay. There's always going to be a little bit of alteration later on, so don't worry at this point. You can now consider that both your ears are kind of trimmed right, and your face and back and dome are pretty much cut right at this point. You can leave them now, and we're going to cut out